Good morning and welcome to the weekly fundamental podcast. I'm Rasmi Goza from Kotak Securities. On the international side, US markets rose last week led by big tech companies. The Nasdaq Composite Index rose 4.2% last week, pulling up the S&P 500 index also, where technology shares now account for 40% in terms of weight. The real favorites after the US elections have been the Asia Pacific markets. Post US elections, that is from 3rd November till date, the MSCI Asia Pacific Index has gone up 19% as compared to 11% rise seen in S&P 500. Last week was the second week when the MSCI Emerging Market Index sustained above its pre-GFC peak of 1345 points, increasing the confirmation of a serious breakout. Last week, comment by Janet Yellen reveals a market-driven approach to foreign exchange management, which may rule out any wide movement in the dollar index. Also, in a written reply to senators' questions, Yellen said she would study raising taxes, imposing of new minimum corporate tax, and raising capital gains tax on the wealthy. So the next few weeks will throw more light on the thinking and thought process of the new cabinet on various issues ranging from China to trade policy to currency handling. In Europe, the headline PMI number fell to 47.5 in January from 49.1 in December. This shows the economic pain of lockdown is visible in business contraction. The impact is more on the service sector as the service PMI has gone down to 45. The manufacturing activity is still holding on with a reading of 54.7 for the manufacturing PMI. In its 21st January meeting, the ECB kept the size of its pandemic emergency purchase program unchanged at 1.85 trillion euros. In addition, all of its other bond buying programs were left unchanged. China reported fourth quarter numbers last week. Economy rode back to pre-pandemic growth rates, reporting 6.4% growth in Q4 and pushing the entire calendar year 20 growth to 2.3%. The revival makes China the only major global economy to have expanded in calendar year 20. Economists expect China's GDP will expand 8.2% this year, continuing to outpace global peers even as they begin to recover due to the rollout of vaccines. Coming to India, the continuous rally in BSE 30 index paused last week with both the BSE Sensex and the Nifty 50 ending nearly flat. We saw profit booking at higher levels as the Sensex touched the psychological mark of 50,000 last week. In sectors last week, we saw gains in auto, capital goods and consumer durables. On the other hand, telecom, utilities and metal sectors were the worst performers. The start of the Q3 earnings season has been very encouraging, with more earnings upgrades than downgrades. We are still in the initial phase of the earnings season, so we need to wait till end of January to get a better picture. Till last Friday, only 11 out of 50 companies in Nifty 50 had come out with the results. There has been positive surprise of 12% on revenue and 21% on net profit for these 11 Nifty 50 companies that have declared results. Most of the large cap IT companies have declared results and their earnings surprise has mainly driven the overall numbers till date. Earnings of the 11 Nifty 50 companies that have declared results till now has gone up by 38%, which is very healthy. In sectors, consumers, tires, IT services and metals have reported good numbers on an overall basis. Financials are a mixed bag as higher provisions has led to poor earnings in many cases. The Q3 results had the benefit of pent-up demand, festive demand, some bit of cost saving and lower input cost. As we go in Q4, the demand should normalize while the benefit of cost savings and lower raw material costs should fade away. Expect compression in gross margins of most manufacturing companies in Q4 as commodity prices have risen sharply in Q3. Looking at the future sequence, Q4 earnings could disappoint, but then first two quarters of next fiscal year, that is FY22, would report abnormally higher earnings growth because of the low base of FY21. Overall, FY22 earnings growth will be very high because of the low base of first half of FY21. We are expecting earnings of Nifty 50 to grow by 29% in FY22 on the back of 12% earnings growth expected in FY21, These numbers are as of last week. On the flows, last week FIIs invested around rupees 6,400 crore. One point to highlight is that on Friday, the provisional FII figures were negative by just rupees 636 crore, but the Nifty fell by 1.5%. This somewhere displays the weakness and vulnerability of our markets to any FII selling at higher levels. DIIs, on the other hand, are consistent sellers in the market with rupees 3,436 crore of selling last week. Unless there is any black swan event, any normal deep correction in India in future could lead to massive inflows into mutual funds and also provide good buying opportunity for many HNIs who are sitting in the cash. It is only after a major correction can we expect the DIIs and local HNIs plus retail investors to turn aggressive buyers in Indian market. As the budget could be in favor of higher infrastructure spending and towards local manufacturing, we have identified 5 stocks that could benefit from this. These 5 companies are Varroc Engineering, L&T, Kalpataru Power, PNC Infratech and Dalmia Bharat. As we go into FY22, we can expect business prospects of these companies to improve, which can lead to earnings upgrades and which in turn can lead to revision in price targets. Since most stocks have seen sharp run up in the last few months, accumulation in dips is the ideal strategy to follow for any investors from here on. We can expect volatility to remain high this week also, as we have the monthly expiry and this week will be the also last week before the union budget. The earnings split is coming good, which could act as a cushion to any sharp correction. We expect Nifty 50 to remain range bound between 14 and 15,000 till the budget, and any breakout or breakdown from this range could be seen post budget. The consistent rise in the markets is capturing the strong underlying current in the economy and earnings revision, thereby keeping valuations at stretched levels. Since global markets are running ahead of fundamentals and valuations, a mean revision is imminent in future. After whatever top we see in the first quarter, we could see markets going into correction and consolidation phase in the second half of this calendar year. So let's wait and see how to well the markets extend and then what kind of correction we see going forward. So that's it from my side this week. Thanks everyone for listening to this podcast. Have a great week ahead.